Hey guys, do you remember this line, "Well, say goodnight to the bad guy"?
So say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
Well, of course you do, and that's because it's one of the most popular lines in Hollywood history. Yes, iconic scenes produce iconic lines, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at the top 10 most iconic movie scenes of all time. Though I do have to mention that this list is purely subjective, and is based on the impact, popularity, and critical acclaim of these scenes. So be sure to stay tuned and get ready for a nostalgic ride down memory lane as we explore some dramatic moments in films like Scarface to the jaw-dropping effects in The Matrix. And of course, brace yourself for some spoilers in the video. So let's go. Alfred Hitchcock got people on the edge of their seats when he directed the psychological thriller Psycho. The movie tells the story of Marion Crane, who, after stealing some cash from her boss, ends up at a weird motel run by the scary Norman Bates. In this iconic scene, Marion Crane decides to take a shower after a long drive, when suddenly a shadowy figure pulls back the shower curtain, revealing a knife-wielding maniac. The eerie screeching violin music intensifies as Marion is repeatedly stabbed while she screams loudly at the top of her voice. This scene is iconic for its shocking violence and the way it goes beyond audience expectations. And to his credit, Hitchcock's masterful use of editing and music creates an atmosphere of sheer terror. Now, did you know that the blood used in this scene was actually chocolate syrup? The black and white film made it easier to use syrup instead of fake blood, which was difficult to get right on camera. So props to you, Alfred, bravo. Moving on, we've got The Lion King. Not the live-action one, but the animated Disney classic that tells the story of Simba, a young lion destined to follow in his father's footsteps as the king of the Pride Lands. In this scene, the sun rises over the African savanna as the Circle of Life plays in the background. Animals from all over the kingdom gather to witness the presentation of Simba, the newborn lion prince. Rafiki, the wise baboon, lifts Simba high above his head for all to see, and the animals cheer for the new heir. So what makes this scene so iconic? Well, it's the breathtaking animation and the powerful music that sets the tone for the entire film, of course. It's a perfect blend of visuals and sound, creating a memorable introduction to an absolute classic. And for those who don't know, the iconic opening chant of the Circle of Life was improvised by composer Lebo M during the recording session. And you gotta admit, it worked absolutely perfectly. Next up is The Matrix, a sci-fi film that follows Neo, a computer hacker who discovers that reality as he knows it is a simulated world controlled by machines. And boy, did it produce one of the most popular scenes in Hollywood history. Neo finds himself in a showdown with Agent Smith, and as bullets are being fired at him, Neo leans back impossibly far, dodging the bullets in slow motion. This scene uses a groundbreaking visual effect known as bullet time, where the camera moves around Neo as the bullets fly past him. This scene revolutionized action movies with its innovative use of special effects and introduced the concept of bullet time to the whole world. And just in case you were wondering, the bullet dodging effect was achieved using a rig of 120 cameras arranged in a circle around the actors, capturing every single angle in slow motion. Pure technological genius. Now, how can we talk about iconic scenes without talking about Titanic? Directed by James Cameron, the film tells the story of the ill-fated maiden voyage of the RMS Titanic and the romance between Jack and Rose, two passengers from different social classes. In this scene, Jack and Rose stand at the bow of the Titanic with their arms spread like eagle wings. And it's in this scene that they share a moment of pure joy as the ship sails towards its tragic destiny. This scene is iconic for its sheer exuberance and the way it captures the fleeting sense of freedom and adventure. And unsurprisingly, it has been parodied countless times in popular culture. Fun fact, Kate Winslet revealed that director James Cameron wanted the scene shot during an actual sunset, which meant that they had a limited amount of time to get it just right. Rocky comes in at number 6, and it tells the story of Rocky Balboa, a small-time boxer who gets a once-in-a-lifetime chance to fight the heavyweight champion Apollo Creed. In a series of shots, we see Rocky training for his big fight. He runs up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art, punches meat in a freezer, and works out intensely. The iconic theme song Gonna Fly Now plays in the background, building up to the moment when Rocky reaches the top of the steps and triumphantly raises his arms. This scene is iconic for its inspirational message and has become synonymous with determination and hard work. Funnily enough, the scene where Rocky runs through the streets was filmed guerrilla style with no permits. Sylvester Stallone and the crew just ran through the streets and filmed on the go, which is quite daring if you ask me. Next up is The Shining. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, this horror flick is about Jack Torrance, who becomes the winter caretaker of the isolated Overlook Hotel, where he slowly descends into madness. In this horrific scene, Jack is seen wielding an axe while chasing his wife Wendy through the hotel. She locks herself in the bathroom, but Jack starts chopping through the door. And as he breaks through, he sticks his head through the gap and says, "Here's Johnny!" This scene is iconic for Jack Nicholson's terrifying performance and the chilling delivery of the line. It is a masterclass in building suspense and horror. Another quick one, the line, "Here's Johnny," was actually improvised by Nicholson and was a reference to Ed McCannon's introduction of Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show. Bullet, starring Steve McQueen, is next on our list. It's a 1968 action thriller about a tough San Francisco cop named Frank Bullet, who is assigned to protect a witness in a high-profile case. In this scene, there's a high-speed car chase through the streets of San Francisco. Bullet, driving a Ford Mustang, pursues two hitmen in a Dodge Charger. The chase is full of sharp turns, jumps, and near misses, making it one of the most exciting sequences in film history. This scene set the standard for car chases in movies and showcased Steve McQueen's driving skills. It is a thrilling, edge-of-your-seat experience. And did you also know that Steve McQueen performed many of his own stunts in the film, including much of the driving during the car chase? Well, if you don't, now you do. And then of course, there's Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. This is the second film in the original Star Wars trilogy. It follows Luke Skywalker as he continues his battle against the evil Galactic Empire. During a lightsaber duel with Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker is cornered. Then Vader reveals the shocking truth.
No, I am your father.
And the revelation leaves Luke and the audience absolutely stunned. This twist is one of the most famous in cinema history. It added depth to the story and changed the course of the Star Wars saga. Now, the fun fact for this one is actually really interesting. The line was kept a secret from almost everyone on set. Even the actor who played Darth Vader, David Prowse, delivered a different line, and the true dialogue was dubbed in later by James Earl Jones. Moving on to The Terminator, another film directed by James Cameron. This is a sci-fi thriller about a cyborg assassin sent back in time to kill Sarah Connor, the mother of a future resistance leader. The Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, enters a police station looking for Sarah Connor. After being denied entry, he ominously says,
I'll be back.
before driving a car through the front of the building, unleashing chaos. This scene is iconic for Schwarzenegger's delivery of the line, which became a catchphrase. It's a perfect example of building tension and delivering a memorable moment. Now, here's something interesting. Arnold Schwarzenegger initially had trouble with the line, wanting to say, "I will be back" instead. But James Cameron insisted on the now famous version, and thank goodness he did. And finally, coming in at number 1 is none other than Brian De Palma's Scarface. Starring Al Pacino as Tony Montana, it dives deep into the life of a Cuban refugee who flees to the US and gets entangled in the underworld of cocaine. In this iconic scene, Tony Montana's home is invaded by gunmen sent by drug lord Alejandro Sosa to kill Tony for screwing him over. And after Tony's sister Gina is killed by stray bullets, he pulls out a massive machine gun and says,
Say hello to my little friend!
before pulling the trigger and engaging in one of the best gun battles in a gangster flick. This scene is iconic because it shows Tony's bravery even when outnumbered and in the face of death. It also showed that he was willing to die for what he believed in. And speaking of dying, when Tony was shot in the back by one of his home invaders and fell into the water fountain, the camera capturing the blimp that reads "The world is yours" has not been matched till this day. Also, did you know that this famous scene has been referenced in many rap songs? And for me, this is my most iconic movie scene of all time. But that's just me. What about yours? The bullet dodging scene from The Matrix, or Jack and Rose's scene from Titanic, or any other iconic scene that wasn't mentioned on this list? Be sure to hit the comments down below and let us know. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome pop culture content. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.